Hey up everyone, Magpie Gaming here. I hope you're all doing well. So today we've had the third update for Battlefield 2042, and before I go into the details of it, there are a couple of things to just throw out there straight away. So there is this tweet on the screen that you can see right now, and this is from a Twitter account called Battlefield Direct Communication. This is run by DICE, so it's a Twitter account where you can get like the latest sort of game breaking information and update information and things like that. And they have tweeted this out. We've noticed some players on PC aren't able to use horizontal mouse input after update 3 went live. Restore default settings by removing prof save files in my documents Battlefield 2042 settings to keep playing. Be aware this resets all your in-game settings. A little bit of an extreme one there, and to be fair, this is not game breaking by any means, but not something that you want to start with a big update, having to redo all of your in-game settings because they've broken something. So not a great start there, but yeah, there we go. That's just something to be wary of on the PC. Now, it's not affecting everybody, it's just some players, so hopefully you'll get away with it and you won't have to redo your settings. And then there is another issue with the persistent game data, which is one that I'm no doubt we've all seen, and this one has become more prevalent with this update. A lot of people unable to play the game basically because they keep getting this error, and the news from DICE is just to keep retrying and you'll get there eventually. So yeah, another not great one, but there we go. That's just Battlefield 2042 all over at the moment. So getting into the actual update, I'm not going to go through every point of it like I never do in these videos because there is just too much to talk about. I'm just going to give an overview, but as always there will be a link in the description down below to the full patch notes if you want to go read those. But basically they've made improvements to a lot of the game right across the board. It's a sweeping update. I think every sort of facet of the game has been touched by this update, and there's been tweaks and changes all over. So looking at the main ones, they've made improvements to the collection screen menus to make customizing your weapon easier. Basically this means you'll spend less time in this menu because there's less clicks to do. So it was a little bit complex, let's say maybe not complex, but could be a little bit overwhelming to first time users. Even myself, I was struggling to work out what was what. It's not very intuitive, but it's been changed a little bit now, so all being well, it should be better to use now. So the in-game UI has had a refresh, so there's less clutter and certain elements will now scale. Also, friend and enemy markers have been improved. So for instance, you've now got the medic incoming marker, which is something that we've had in previous games. So when somebody chooses to revive you, you know that they're on the way. This was something that was asked for and has been implemented in the game, so bonus points for DICE for doing that. And also, if you're within 50 meters of somebody that can heal or resupply you, that will show up on your screen as well, so you know who to approach for supplies and medical supplies, which again is a throwback to previous games, and I'm glad it's something that they've implemented in the game. There's been some matchmaking improvements as well, and the whole system has received general improvements across the board, including better cross-play flow and fixes for friend invites on the PC. It's not an area of the game that I've touched right now. I don't actually know anybody of my friends that's playing this game at the moment. I think there might be just one, but we haven't played together at the moment. So, but I have heard from people that it's been very broken for them, been very hit and miss whether it works or not. So there's been some good improvements to that. Whether or not it makes it ultimately a lot better will be down to those that are using it. Like I say, I can't sort of say from personal experience because I haven't played with any friends in this game at the moment. There's been 150 individual improvements to the maps, from spawning and visual and audio issues. So across the board there's been improvements to it, sort of collision issues and things like that, where the general experience hasn't been up to par. It's every map has been touched with that update, so all being well, it should be a little bit better on the maps now. In the following week they will be adding the weekly missions to the game, so there will be 3 missions per week. Doing any one of these 3 missions will grant you in-game XP, and doing all 3 of them will grant you a unique cosmetic. I think that's a throwback to previous games as well, but it wasn't something that was implemented from the off. And there's just been plenty of fixes and balancing across the entire game. Now there's no mention of the bolt. This is fast becoming the new hovercraft. That thing is an absolute nightmare in game, but obviously we've had improvements to the weapon systems in the game from the previous updates, so they're not impossible to take out, but I can never hear these things coming. They don't seem to make a sound, but obviously there's been audio improvements in this update, so all being well, there's been improvements to hearing these things coming. And in the blog post, DICE go on to say that there will be another update coming within the coming weeks. and this will be a smaller update, but it'll be focused on balancing changes and general bug fixes to further enhance the gameplay experience, as they say. So they're going to be looking at the weapons, they're going to be looking at the vehicles and looking at what needs further balancing. So I would think that the Bolt will get probably a balance at some point just to turn it down a little bit overpowered, that one at the moment, as are some of the helicopters still, but all being well, they will get balanced out as we go forward. So yeah, not a bad update from DICE. This one was 6.5 gig in size, so it's around 2 gig bigger than the one that we had last week. Getting there slowly, and I've got to say, bonus points to DICE for updating the game as fast as they are. Now I know that there are a lot of people out there that are happy with this game. I was one of them, but you've got to base this anger at EA. I think they've rushed this game out so that they could get the holiday money in. I think they wanted to get the holiday sales. I think this game needed overall maybe another 4 to 5 to 6 months worth of work to polish it off before it would have been in a better release state. But we have it now in the state that it's in, and I do feel sorry for the devs at DICE. They're going to be doing their best to patch out all of these things. I would assume that they're pulling in some pretty insane hours to keep up with this all as well and get the updates out, but they are getting them out. And I do know that DICE can actually update the game without having to issue an update to us, the players. So there are tweaks and changes that they can do behind the scenes that we don't have to download. They are sort of server side sort of issues. So whether we actually get to know about any of those getting fixed or not, we probably won't. They won't put a blog post out for every single issue that they fixed. We will just get to know the ones that are pushed out to us, the client side. But yeah, they're doing good work. They're trying to make this game better. I've started to have a lot more fun in this game now. It's definitely coming along, and it's coming along quickly as well. So hopefully that keeps going, and maybe in a month or two we will have a better, more polished product, but they are definitely going in the right direction. So as always, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching and listening. If you're not currently subscribed to the channel, it would be amazing if you could consider doing so. It helps me out a ton. Also, maybe leaving a like and a comment on the video helps out amazingly with the YouTube algorithm. And with that being said, I'd just like to say take care, and I will catch you in the next one.